I'm Carey Stinson, and my journey through life has been quite an adventure. For over 20 years, I played Barney the Dinosaur on tour and 7 seasons of the hugely popular TV show Barney and Friends. Now my journey is to bring together friends and guests from all over the entertainment world for inspiring and at times amusing behind-the-scenes conversation. I'm Carey Stinson, and this is Purple Roads. Welcome to Purple Roads. My name is Carey Stinson, and as always, I'm thrilled you're here. This is very exciting. We have Debi Derryberry, which you probably all know from Jimmy Neutron, but she's also been doing lots of albums over the years, and she's got this new one that I'm very excited to talk about. So we're going to talk about all of her voices. We're going to talk about Jimmy, and we're going to talk about this new album. Debi, how are you?
I am great, Carey. Thank you so much for having me on your show. This is so exciting.
It is so much fun to have you here. And right before we started, we were talking about all the mutual people that we know.
Right, Jimmy Neutron and Barney right here in the
Yes,
same windows.
yes, yes. How are you?
I'm great. And you had my friend Rob Paulson on the show, who is my co-star in Jimmy Neutron.
He was so much fun. He
Oh,
was
isn't
so
he the
much
best?
fun.
No, he's a hoot.
Well, and I know you're also doing Comic Cons with my good buddy Bob West.
Right, I see Bob all the time. He's a lot taller than me. I'm 4'10", he's 6'3", or something like that. But what a lovely man. I guess you have to be a lovely person to go inside Barney's costume.
Yeah, yes.
That is great. Yeah, it's funny how small this world is, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. And I'm so excited. My wife was laughing. I said, well, I'm talking to Jimmy Neutron this morning. She goes, of course you are.
Of course you are.
Of course
That's
you are.
hilarious. I
So,
know.
it's where to start with this. I think from, I guess, how you got into this world. I know you started, as I recall, you started doing country music. Wasn't it music
Yes.
first and went from there?
Well, actually, it was pre-med at UCLA first.
Okay.
I
Well, before
graduated
before this, yeah,
pre-med.
before this
Then
world.
I went to Nashville to do country music because I didn't want to go to med school, and started getting hired for jingle voices, jingle singing, but only as a kid's voice. But I still pursued my country music, which I loved. I've always had my guitar and written songs and played and done harmonies since, I was 8 years old. Since I could be big enough to pick up a guitar, I had my guitar with me. And the country music and me being so short in stature kind of came together with me doing stand-in work for Jim Varney, the kids in his movies, the 12-year-old boys. And one of the moms was like, "Hey, Debbie, you should do cartoon voices." And all this time I'm singing and trying to make singing happen. And long story short, I came back to Los Angeles, signed with an agent, and started booking cartoons within 2 weeks. And that was over 30 years ago, Carrie. And it's just been cartoons, cartoons the whole time. And other interesting jobs. I've had a few crazy jobs that I'll tell you about. But I've been doing music this whole time. I've had my country band Honey Pig for over 20 years. And I'm on my fifth children's album. And although cartoons is my love and my way of making a living, music and harmonies are my passion and love. I mean, I love it all. And so I continue doing both.
Well, we know from the Barney world how important the music is. The
Yeah.
the way the kids and the way that people react to music is amazing. So I can totally understand the importance of that in your life.
Yeah, it just makes me come alive. It's so much fun. That's when I'm my happiest, is when I'm recording and making music or performing. I just love it.
I'm a huge country fan. What type
Yeah.
of country do you, is it original or what are you doing?
It's a combination of originals and covers. My band is called Honey Pig. And in
Love
fact,
that.
we sing in Los Angeles a lot, in North Hollywood, at a place called the Lawless Brewery in North Hollywood.
It's
But
awesome.
we are a group of voice actors. Me and two other voice actresses and our husbands are all make up the band, and we do it for fun. We just actually got back from England, where we played a big music festival there, and it's easy listening, great as long as there's great harmonies. That's what matters to me. Sort of like a Chicks or a Trousdale, or just. really
Right.
good harmonies. And I write and produce kids' music as well. It's all fun to me.
So I know everyone's wanting to hear about Jimmy Neutron, but I'm really interested in the album. Um,
Yeah,
I was listening to it and it's obvious you understand the audience. So there it is.
my kids' new kids album, "Go to Sleep," still in the plastic. This is a picture of the I all the songs have accompanying animated videos on my YouTube channel, Debi Derryberry Kids, which is right there, Debi Derryberry Kids, and
And
the cover of the album.
we will put those links up there as well.
Thank you. So, the cover of the album is one of the 3D videos. They're flat 2D videos and 3D videos. Um,
Which I watched, and
oh, thank you.
I watched them, and well, I'm so fascinated with this is all the years that I've been doing it. You can kind of see what works and what doesn't work when it comes to kids, and I could see what you did, and obviously you've been doing this for a long time. You understand the audience,
Kids, um, they don't want to be patronized. They don't want to be pandered to.
right?
They like good music. Now, the subject material can be more kid friendly,
Sure,
but the music still has to be great, engaging, um, hopping. You can't fool kids. If they don't like it, they're going to get up and walk away. It's not
right,
like adults who will sit there and go, "Oh, wasn't that nice?" They're like, "I'm
right.
outie." Yeah.
Yeah, and the video too. I thought that was I could see how that they really like that as well.
I use my husband's granddaughter as a gauge to how my videos are performing, and for just listening to the album, she's asleep after 3 songs, which to me is just great news.
A sign of a success.
Yeah. In fact, my new playlist is called "Dad Needs a Break" and has animated dad pulling his hair out with, it's the thumbnails in progress right now, but I'm trying to create playlists to help the parents out, help the early childhood educators out, whether it's time for nap time or a learning moment or a learning moment that they aren't aware is a learning moment. That's the best kind.
Well, that's what our shows were. We heard
Hmm.
that all the time. The amount of
Hmm.
times that people have come to me and said, thank you for Barney because it was allowing me to have a time where I could have a break or I could cook or I could do these things. And
A
I knew
safe
that my
break.
kids were not only being entertained, but they were being entertained with something good.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Jimmy Neutron as a mom because I was pregnant when I recorded it, and then as the years went by and my kid watched it, I always heard from parents that they really were happy with their kid watching Jimmy Neutron because they knew they weren't getting just a bunch of junk. It was a little bit smart, and people really loved the show because it was safe and they enjoyed watching it together
And fun.
and fun. Yeah. In case people don't know, I have, you know, this Jimmy Neutron is here. This is what he looks like. He's a boy genius. That's me, boy genius. Yeah,
Well,
you guys will want to hear "Got a Blast." There you go.
he's one of those iconic characters in this. When I was telling my wife about it, my 20-year-old stepdaughter, she goes, I know Jimmy Neutron. Like everyone knows Jimmy Neutron, which is so cool.
It is like Barney, it's one of those lifetime gigs that you never know is going to be such a big deal when you start it, but then it explodes, and here we are 24 years later, and I'm like, wow, I did that.
So let's talk about that. When it showed up, how did it come to you? Did you
It
audition
came,
for it, or
it
was it
came
brought to
like
you?
any other voice audition, back before cell phones. Debbie, call me on your beeper and go to this studio and audition for this another cartoon. So I auditioned, and there were all these seasoned voice actresses auditioning for this little boy, and they all had that gravel kind of voice, and I don't have that. So I went and I'm like, I'm not really comfortable with doing little boys' voices. I've been doing little girl voices for so many years. So I did my best little boy voice, but it has no texture. And that's the one they picked. And but it wasn't a big deal. It was just a little pilot. Like they sent us these VHS. This is my picture of a VHS tape with the little interstitials, and like The Simpsons started out as interstitials on the Tracy Ullman show, and this was just a little interstitial. And I thought that looks amazing. It's what do you call this animation? Because it was the first CGI of its kind. And then
Oh,
they said, "Oh well, we're going to do a feature film," and I thought, "Well, how about that?" And then it was Oscar nominated. I'm like, what? And then they're doing a series and commercials and games but to me it was just work, and I really was happy that people liked the project. But as the years went by, its popularity has snowballed, just grown. So we all look for that one job, right? That people
sure.
know us for. I have this one other character. I have a lot of characters, but there's
Yeah.
one called Draculaura, who's a Monster High character. It's kind of reflective in the pop figure, but I'm I'm her original voice, and she's on the show by Mattel called Monster High. And then some other popular ones I have are I'm on the original Addams Family. I'm Wednesday in the with John Gomez doing the cartoon, the Hanna-Barbera 1990s cartoon. And then there's another video game called Crash Bandicoots, and I'm his sister Coco Bandicoots. I'm tilting them so you can see past the reflection. And there was the first Toy Story 1 movie. I was the aliens that go, pick me, the claw. I know you wanted to hear that one.
Well, my wife would wanted to hear that. I'll play this later for her because
Bring
she
her in.
loves all that.
And Cheer Bear is another big one. Uh, and then there's a game called Sims where I'm all the infants in the infant expansion, which is just interesting. And there's a show I did called F is for Family that kind of looks like this on Netflix with Bill Burr. And I do most of the children and all of the infants. Who knew that I'd be able to cry like a baby and get in all these shows? This cartoon world, gosh, it's been crazy, Carrie. I love it.
How do you are you so when you go into the audition, like Jimmy Neutron, for example,
Mhm.
do you have an idea of how you're going to do the voice? Do they give you other, can you try this or can you try that? How does that kind of work where you're creating that voice, that character?
Well, back then, there were people in the studio directing you.
Okay.
Now, it's all in, I'm pointing to my booth right there. I go in that little tiny 4x4 room and spend my day and record my audition. So you never know what they're looking for. But in a voiceover audition, they send you what's called a character description, and it
Okay.
usually has a picture and some, tidbits about the character that helps you develop what he sound like. Like last um, week, I auditioned for a little um, a rat type character that was supposed to sound like Julia Childs, but she had no words. So you put these weird things together and you come up with your character based on what they tell you. If it's a teenage girl and maybe she has braces, so you put braces on, or maybe they say she's from the South, so all of a sudden you have this 10-year-old girl with braces from the South, and you just kind of layer your skills and hope you come up with a voice they like.
That's so funny. It's so fun. Yeah, I think about the stuff with Barney. It's the same. It's a lot of it's the same when you're creating these. You just kind of got to let loose, right?
Oh, I mean, it's an acting job. If you
Right,
are afraid of what you look like or what you sound like, or you're embarrassed by it, go find another job. I mean,
right.
it doesn't always look pretty, the faces we have to do to make these voices. And it's a whole different skill set than on camera as far as the pauses. You don't hear a lot of blank space, but you don't hear in those blank spaces are not necessarily words. Like we have to give the animator something to do. So in between the words, there's these what a thing, all these fumfering and hemming and hawing. It's it's totally this weird little world, this voiceover world. I forgot the question.
Uh, I think I got thrown off too. I can't stop smiling, hearing and seeing all of this. I love it. I think that with Barney we're separate. So there was a voice and a body.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
you were asking me about the recording of it.
yeah, so I've been around the voices for a long. I've had the voices in my head for a long time. And so yeah, I understand that. So yeah, with the recording.
So did you do the body separate from the recording?
So I would, yeah, well, we would do it live. So
Oh,
when you're
okay.
doing the TV show, I'm in the suit and they're in another room and we've got earpieces.
Yeah.
And so the singing is recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So all the dialogue is live.
Gotcha.
So if I decide to do a jump or a spin or wiggle my tail, they can react to it live. And they
Yeah.
they would also have their mic open during a song. So for the same thing, if all of a sudden I decide to do a bell kick or something, they could react to that as well.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, every single uh I guess medium has its own little skill set and tricks and things that you have to be aware of. And I guess where being in a puppet suit is no different. I did this show, not show, but a series of commercials for the Duracell battery campaign of the Puttermans. And they were these plastic looking people with batteries on their back. And I was the little boy, and it was like 4 hours of makeup because I do a lot of little boy in costume. I used to.
Okay.
Um, and it was just crazy being inside a costume and being a whole nother character. And we did speak live, but there was this other job I had that I don't know if you know about. I'm going to stand up and grab this picture right here to show you. I didn't know if you knew I was a scuba diver.
I
I've
did
been
not know
diving
that.
for since 1983, long
Wow.
time. And they were doing this little film at Warner Brothers, and they needed someone to body double the boy because it was about a whale, and they didn't want the boy swimming with the boy in this with the whale in this movie called Free Willy. So they
Uh-huh.
needed a grown up who was the size of a 12-year-old boy. So I did this. I was the body stunt double for Free Willy. I'm the one that rode the whale.
That's awesome.
Isn't that crazy?
I've
Like
seen,
every
I've
single time.
obviously I've seen the movie, had no idea. That's amazing.
Well, when he's drowning, it's me. And at the same time, I was recording a cartoon for Howie Mandel called Bobby's World. And so I would fly back from Mexico City to LA to record. That's where we were doing Free Willy in Mexico City. Fly back here to record Bobby's World and then go back to Mexico City to swim with the whale for the 7 weeks. I would never do it again. If anybody's listening, I don't believe in whales in captivity.
Sure,
I didn't know how horrible it was back then, but
sure,
now I know, and I would
sure,
not take the job again, obviously.
sure.
Then it was a very cool job, but had I had a little more empathy and awareness, I would never have done that then. But hopefully now people are aware of how horrible it is to have animals in captivity, uh, mammals any animal actually. But we did eventually release Keiko into the wild, the whale, where he lived his life until he died in Iceland.
Um, how do you're going from singing to cartoon voices to on camera to is it different mindsets for you as you're doing these different things to get yourself, okay, now I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that?
Um, Not really. I mean, I know how to do my voiceover auditions really well, and I know how to go in and record them, and I know when I'm going in to do a singing session or a producing session or a writing session, or Lisa Loeb and I did a really great song last year called "The Compost Bin," a kids song that the music videos on my Debi Derryberry YouTube Kids, and Lisa and I, she just lives down the street. We had so
Huh.
much fun writing and creating this song and recording the song. And, you know, you're not the first one that has asked me if it's difficult to switch hats like that. And it's not. My mommy always said the people who get the most done usually schedule things. So my days are scheduled, like I don't even want to tell you when it's only 8 in the morning, but I've already been on my exercise cycle a half an hour. We've swam in our pool. We walked the dogs. We had breakfast. Now we have this, and then another podcast, and then it just goes on. And then it's Friday, so the agents are going to start throwing the auditions out on Friday afternoon so that you'll be busy all weekend. They do that.
And it looks like you would love it all.
I do. I like staying busy, and I love what I do. I love life. Um, I used to never run out of energy. Now sometimes I have to lay down for 20 minutes. I never used to have to lay down for 20 minutes, but now I have to lay down. Do you have to ever lay down for 20 minutes?
I do.
Sometimes I get tired, but I talk to my friends in their 20s and sometimes they take naps too, so I guess it's okay to nap once in a while.
It's so funny because I've been the same way. I go, 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 and all
Yeah,
of a sudden I need that 20-minute nap, and I'm okay.
it feels better. My little sister calls it her power nap. And she doesn't necessarily go to sleep, but it's very renewing and invigorating. But remember when we were little kids and they'd put you down for a nap, and then 2 hours later, you'd be awake, and where did that 2 hours go? And you were just asleep. Or like teenagers, the way they can lie down and sleep and not even have to get up to go to the bathroom for 13 hours or, more.
Right.
I'm so impressed with teenagers or anyone who can sleep like that. It's amazing.
Yeah, I've got two of them, and it's the opposite. So we're up early. They're up late.
That's crazy. I know. People are so different, but I guess that's what makes the world wonderful.
It is. It is. I'm curious, when you start with Jimmy Neutron, when it started becoming popular, when did you realize, uh-oh, there's something here. The
I,
fans really
you know,
enjoy this.
I get that question, and I don't know that I've ever had that aha moment. Uh, every year, people tell me they liked it. Now, when I go to conventions, they're like, "You were my childhood. This was amazing. I came home from school every day," and people cry. they there's an emotional component. I do a lot of conventions like Comic Cons,
Hmm.
and so I get to meet a lot of my fans. And like this past weekend, I was with Rob Paulson. We were next to each other in Milwaukee at a convention, and people travel many hours to come see us to say that we were part of their childhood and to thank us. Thank us? What are you talking about? Thank you. I mean, I just am so grateful that people watched it, that people love it. And I'm, I just, I can't tell you the gratitude I feel for being so lucky to be able to do something that brings people joy. So I don't know that I ever had that aha moment of Jimmy Neutron being so big.
Well, it's interesting because, see, I saw it with Barney, but it was because I was going out. I was the one going out to the appearances. So while they were shooting the show, I'm out on the road, and so I'm getting the instant feedback. Obviously, talking to you, listening to this, you weren't. You were recording all the time, but you weren't actually seeing until now, these days.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been doing conventions for 20 years and people
Wow.
loving Jimmy Neutron. Um, I, I don't know. I mean, but there's a lot of characters that people come out to see that are important to them, that are these legacy iconic characters. And it's just been a part of my everyday life, being Jimmy Neutron and Draculaura and all these other characters that I have the honor of voicing. But, for me to get all the credit is wrong. The
Sure.
creators, the writers, the animators, all the people that go into it, the producers, the other actors, there's just so many people who contribute to projects to make them successful. Yeah, I love that they give these adulations to me, but I know it's everybody.
Well, and I've talked about that on this show with Barney. Everyone that was involved with Barney, from cast, every aspect of it, they had the same heart. That's why it worked so well.
Yeah,
Everyone knew whatever their job was, whatever they were doing involved in it, they cared about as much as the people in the costumes and the voices and all
yeah.
those aspects of it. So I understand exactly what you meant. That's how that works, is that even though they're behind the scenes, they're putting just as much as everyone else is.
And getting to do what we love is the best joy there is. And just getting back to my album a little bit, that I hope parents and educators and grandpas can go to Spotify, and it's on all the digital streaming platforms, because I have to make CDs to show somebody, but
Sure.
I just call them coasters. That's what you put your water on. But the YouTube channel, Debbie Derryberry Kids, has not just the videos from this album, but my previous album, the Gotta Go Green album, with all these eco-conscious songs like Carbon Footprint and Cycle of Water and um, uh, Little Tiny Molecules, H2O, and Earth Day, and Gotta Go Green. And I have a few other albums that are there, and there's just so many of the animated videos, and the YouTube channel, the Debbie Derryberry Kids, has kind of allowed me to bring this animation and singing together. So I feel like the circle is meeting, where all my
Mhm.
animation and the voices and my singing now comes together in the YouTube channel, the Debbie Derryberry Kids channel, and I can do what I want to do. And it's so much fun, and I'm just making videos all the time and learning. Aren't we just learning all the time, to stay on top of stuff? The fact that we can sit here on a Zoom call and we know how to work our interface and our microphone and our computers, that we can, but there's so much to know all the time. Same with YouTube and the algorithms and the thumbnails and Canva and how to work it. It's just a constant learning experience, this life of ours.
Oh, it is. It is. This show was originally done in a studio, and then COVID happened,
Yeah,
and I didn't want to stop. And so I did
as
the
you
same thing,
shouldn't.
figured out
Yeah.
all of this stuff and continued to do it.
I do want to mention, if anybody is interested in voiceover,
Yeah.
um, because I don't do enough. I wrote a book
Ah,
called Voiceover 101: How to Succeed as a Voice Actor. It's on Amazon. Um, Voiceover 101, I can't really read it very well. There, How to Succeed as a Voice Actor. But it is on Amazon, and it's hard to teach somebody how to like bark like a dog. So I put in these little QR codes where people could like click on it and then go to the video, and hopefully it will be useful to a lot of people, because people say, how do I get into voiceover? And it's not a one sentence answer. So it's a quick read, but hopefully that will help people if they want to get into voiceover, because it's still a viable way of like making a living until AI comes and takes all our jobs.
I still think as we see this, you're seeing all the pushback, I think, which is great, from the fans who say,
Yes,
I don't really want that. I want the person, I want the connection. If Jimmy
it's
Neutron was
interesting
done
though. Go ahead.
right, if Jimmy Neutron was done by AI, there's being able to see you, and I can't stop smiling hearing you do that. You're doing the voice there. That's what people want, to be able to go to you and see what was involved in you doing it and creating it and all of those emotions, instead of a computer taking people, throwing it in. I
I
understand it
mean, there is a
pushes them.
place for it, because I mean, it's just like when the car came out. You
Right,
know, what about the people who makes the wheels on the horse-drawn buggy? They're out of a job. Well, they learn a different hat.
right.
And I don't think it's like when the iPhones came out. Oh, or the Kindle. I don't use paper books anymore because I use my Kindle. And every new technological advancement replaces something else, but it doesn't mean that we as humans aren't necessary, because, like you said, people crave that one on one, and it still will exist. We'll still have that one on one, and nothing can take the place of our human nuances, can it?
Well, and my wife and daughter, all they read books. They don't,
Yeah,
they have a Kindle, but there are books at my house constantly. They still like to hold the book, the paper, the
yeah,
whole
yep,
deal. So you see that with a lot of this as well.
yeah. Because I travel so much and I read so much, I can't take that many books. So the Kindle works for travel for
Sure,
us
sure,
because we just have to have one book, one device.
sure.
So it worked great for that. But hopefully, paper books will always be around, just like, you know, CDs will always be around.
Right.
We'll find a different use for them.
Right, right. So I wanted on the album,
Yes.
when you're doing each album, is there now I'm going to do a lullaby? Where does it come from? I'm going to do a green album to now I'm going to do a lullaby. Is something inspire you to do the different themes?
It did. You know, when as a songwriter, I wake up sometimes in the night and there's like a song in my head, like, I want to go to sleep. No, I better get up and write it down. That's, the uh the hard part of being a songwriter is you never know when it's going to hit you. And I had had a couple of uh, songs about recycling over the years. So I brought a couple in that were already existing. And I really wanted to do more for the environment and spread the word to the people that will be able to make a difference, which is our kids. Those are the people that I want to plant the seed to on why you want to make a smaller carbon footprint. What is the cycle of water? How can you recycle? How can I tangibly give you some tools to to do these things? And what are these things? So that sort of inspired it, and I wrote a number of the songs new for the album. Um, but it just kind of came together. Michael Levine and I wrote "Earth Day's My Birthday." Michael Levine trivia. He wrote a little jingle called the Kit Kat jingle. Give me a break, give me a break. That one, the
Yeah.
Kit Kat bar, that one. And he and I wrote a couple of these. We wrote My Electric Car because I drive an electric car. I'm doing what I can to try and reduce my carbon footprint. And hopefully it will do that. So that was the inspiration for the Gotta Go Green album. And then I realized how can I compile a few of my existing songs that are slower, and I thought a lullaby album. So I wrote some. Most of the songs are new for the lullaby album, but I did bring in some songs that were in existence already, like one called "Nose," which I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but when I go to sleep at night and it's cold outside, my nose gets so cold, and every time I try and cover my nose, then I can't breathe. So, how do you warm up your nose? So, this whole song is about, do you use a nose mitten? Do you switch these locations so that your nose is down below and you can cover it? Of course, which is anatomically impossible, but the things that you think about. Uh, so, nose has been a favorite of mine for a while now, and I brought that into the Lullaby album as well. And then in this other song, What Does a Good Night Feel Like? I go through what does it sound like? What does a good night look like? And to me, the sounds for me, little Debbie growing up, of going to sleep were my dad practicing piano, or I grew up in Indio, California, where in the desert we had a lot of winds, and I could hear the gate squeaking open and slam shut. Boom, boom. And that may be scary on some ears, but I found it comforting because it was always there, and I could always count on it. And what does a good night feel like? When you go to bed, do you have your favorite pillow? Do you like the sheets the way they feel? Do you like your doggy next to you or your plushie? And I try to hit on those. And the video is one of my favorites. Um, it's a 3D video as well. What does a good night feel like? I don't know, some of these songs, they just came to me, and I've been working with this amazing producer that, when you have a producer working with you on an album, it's like a dance. It's like
Right.
having a great voiceover director. They say something, you know what they mean, and you give it back. Or they hear you and they know what to do. it's just beautiful the way this synchronicity happens. And that's what happened on this album, Go to Sleep.
How
So
long did it take you to record it?
I guess from start to finish, it was a little over a year in the making. So it's hard to believe that it's finally released. You know, when you finish a project and you go, is that song done? And you push the done button, and you're like, all right, it's done. Let's move on to the next one. Being done is a hard thing to for a lot of people, but for me, I'm good at making decisions and saying, that's it, it's done. So it did take a while just to get from song to song because it's hard to find the time to do things because there's so much going on all the time.
And then is it exciting to, because you get feedback when you release it?
Yeah, I do. Especially on the kids' YouTube videos. It's this whole other platform that I've never had access before to. Uh, and I make my friends sit and listen to it and watch it, and I give the CDs to my friends. And of course, nobody has CD players, but it has the name of it, and they go to Spotify and
Right.
play it. um, yeah, I'm just loving life and loving everything I'm doing, and I thank everybody for watching my YouTube channel and for my TikTok fans. They're just great. I love my TikTok fans. I have like 1.3 million followers.
Wow.
How did that happen? I don't know. But they love to hear about, the cartoon characters and my Sailor Moon Diane character and the Jimmy Neutron. Every every social media platform I'm on uh, have different fans. So I try to see everybody.
That is so fun. Real quick, do you do any of this music for the kids live? Do you ever perform anywhere with it?
Right now, I am not. I created a little character called Little Debbie, which I don't know if you can see that purple circle right there.
Okay.
She's a little animated me. And so I use her in the music videos so that she can always be singing and performing because I don't have the time
Right.
right now to perform the kids' music, although I love it so much.
Well, I can't thank you enough for being on this show.
Thank you, Carrie. It's been a real pleasure to meet you and see you and connect. And I know that you will be interviewing more people who are mutual friends of ours in the future. And thanks for giving me this platform to talk about my new album that I'm so proud of.
It's absolutely my pleasure. All your work, but I love what you're doing with these albums, and I understand the importance of them too. I understand kids are going to love them, and parents are going to be happy to have something this for their kids.
Right, right. Well, thank you so much. I know everybody might want to hear "Got a Blast." There you go. That's for your wife.
She'll love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. Have a great day.
You too. And thank you for watching Purple Roads. Remember to keep your eyes, ears, and heart open, and you'll find your purple road. We'll see you real soon.